Hello, I am Mary Beth Gettins, Managing Attorney of Gettins Law. Recently, on the Gettins Blawg, in a post entitled, "Did You Know They Added an A to the Americans with Disabilities Act?" we discussed the impact of the 2008 amendments to the ADA. The 2008 amendments were a direct response to the Supreme Court rulings in two cases. The Supreme Court rulings in these two cases were thought to be far too narrow for the spirit and intent of the ADA. So let's take a look at the two cases. The first case is Sutton versus United Airlines. In this case, two pilots were denied employment because of their uncorrected vision of 20/100. The Supreme Court denied their claim under the ADA because their vision was able to be corrected with glasses. Therefore, they were not disabled. The ADA was changed to expressly allow for an individual to be found disabled under the ADA even if their impairment is treatable or correctable with medication or devices. The law now states the determination of whether an impairment substantially limits a major life activity shall be made without regard to mitigating measures. The amendment goes on to give a list of examples, which includes medication, devices, hearing aids, cochlear implants or other implantable hearing devices, mobility devices, or oxygen therapy equipment. Note, the list does not include glasses or corrective lenses. So, say for example you have an employee with a hearing deficit. Perhaps they wear a hearing aid. Well, under this new rule, even with the hearing aid, they could still be considered disabled. The second case is Toyota Motor Manufacturing Kentucky, Inc. versus Ella Williams. Williams claimed to be disabled and unable to perform her job at Toyota because of carpal tunnel syndrome and related problems. Because of her impairment, Williams was unable to do repetitive work with her hands and arms extended at or above her shoulder level for extended periods of time. The court said Mrs. Williams was not disabled under the ADA because her impairments was not an important part of most people's lives. In response to this case, the ADA was changed in two regards. First, the major life activities enumerated under the ADA were expanded. This is a long one. The list now includes caring for oneself, performing manual tasks, seeing, hearing, eating, sleeping, walking, standing, lifting, bending, speaking, breathing, learning, reading, concentrating, thinking, communicating, and working. Even though it is a long list, the list is not meant to be exhaustive. Items can be added to a list on a case-by-case basis. But that's not all. Second, a new subcategory was added. This subcategory is major bodily functions. Again, we get a list. The list of major bodily functions are functions of the immune system, normal cell growth, digestive, bowel, bladder, neurological, brain, respiratory, circulatory, endocrine, and reproductive functions. The addition of this subcategory means that a person could have a bodily function impairment, for example, high blood pressure, and even if their daily activities are not affected by their bodily function, in our example, high blood pressure, they could still be disabled under the ADA. So with all these changes, what can you do or should you do in response to the ADA? First, engage with any employee that asks for accommodation or special considerations in the workplace. Courts are putting a real emphasis on if employers are working with employees to find solutions in the workplace. Second, evaluate your employee policies and practices to ensure special carve-outs for cases of disabilities. The courts have shown limited tolerance for one-size-fits-all. Thank you for listening. Again, this has been Mary Beth Gettins with Gettins Law.